Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is HowFast. Today we're going to be working on getting a fuel cell into Dodgey. So I have the fuel cell over here, the one that I had picked up about 2 weeks ago and showed you in the last video. Behind it is the original fuel cell that came out of the car. And my plan here is to fill that void in the back right here, this big hole here, with the shell that this bladder is sitting in. So what I want to do is I want to pull this bladder out. I want to test fit the shell, this steel shell that it's sitting in, into that pocket in there and make sure I know which way it wants to fit. And then what I'd like to do is I can pull that piece out, and I'm going to build the mounts and the brackets for our new fuel cell within this shell. That makes it removable, nice and easy access for me, and something that closes off the back and allows me to work out here instead of working in the back of Dodgey over there. So that's the plan for today. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'm going to get started on that right now. Check this out. Alright, got those two apart. That was not easy. This thing was it was a tight fit, but I got it out. This thing needs to be cleaned out and painted. So I'm going to set this outside, upside down, and then I'm going to bring it in and clean it up real good. This I'm going to get out of here now because it still stinks like old gas, or old race gas. So I'm going to get that out, both of these things outside right now. Okay, now that that's done, let's talk about the new fuel cell and how we're going to mount it into that shell. So what I have here is some leftover metal, some chunks of metal that I've been scrounging up and saving. This here is what held the old shell as like an extra support into the chassis, but I don't think they're going to be necessary. There's not going to be a ton of weight in this application, being only 4 gallons. So I'm going to use some of this metal. I'm going to bend it up and cut it, and I'm going to make it into a bracket to fit on the top here, and then on the top for this area, and this one here as well, probably for the bottom. And then I'll be able to bend these up, and I'll cut them down, and when that shell's all nice and cleaned up and painted, or right before it gets painted, we will weld in a couple tabs into that piece and then bolt these into it, locking this into place. But first, before that, we'll have to drill a hole in the bottom of that shell for that dash 12 that's on the bottom of that fuel cell. So I've taken some measurements. I'm going to start bending this up and cutting it up and getting it to fit around this fuel cell here. Alright, so after about a half an hour banging away and cutting and welding, we have the first bracket. So this one I'm going to test fit it, make sure everything fits the way I like, then I'm going to drill out this hole and then clean it up, scuff it up, clean it up, paint it up, and that one will be done. The next one should be a bit easier. It's a little bit thinner gauge metal, and I feel like I'll be able to manipulate it a little bit better. So enough about this, let's get started on that next one. I got the that shell cleaned up, all cleaned up, emptied out. This thing now I'm going to flip it over, and I also finished making up those brackets. You can see they fit pretty nice. I'm going to have to make some standoffs in the bottom of this because this tank doesn't sit up and down. It sits on a bit of an angle. But this fitting here is what actually needs to be facing right down to the ground. So we'll have to mark out where we're going to put a hole in here and where it's going to sit. So I'm going to flip this thing over and start figuring that out right now. Alright, I have laid out the new fuel cell into the old shell. Marked a small hole where I believe I want that -12 to pass through the bottom of this. Now I'm going to drill it out, and then we can test fit this and see where exactly it's going to sit, and then we can build the brackets that are going to hold it in here. Alright, that's close to where it's going to sit. I have to meddle with this a little bit more to get it so it's just right with the brackets that I'm going to build off of here, and then another one down to some standoffs on the bottom. So I'm going to get working on that probably tomorrow because I'm exhausted. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the morning. Alright guys, it's the next day. I'm out here in the shop and I've got the brackets sitting around the tank, or where the cell where it's going to go. Also got a hole drilled in the bottom here, so we can sit this guy back in there. So now I'm going to try and put a little twist on these and have them face a little bit more in line with this wall, and then I'm going to build some standoffs on the bottom for this to connect to. Alright, got the top mount on, looks good, everything's tight, like really tight, like I wouldn't even need this bottom one, but we're going to put it on anyway. So now just to build a couple of L-angle, like little standoffs that are going to be able to bolt this bottom one on, and should be good to go. Alright, made these small little legs that are going to reach up to the bottom side of where this bracket ties in. So I'm just going to mark those out, tack them in, drill the arm here, and then we'll be done. Alright, all tacked up. I'm going to give this thing one final wipe down, and then we'll hit it with some of the black. Alright guys, all painted up. Paint's still a little bit tacky because I'm incredibly impatient. So I put this down here. I've got the brackets all ready to go on. So I'm just going to give this about 10 more minutes to tack up, and then we'll drop these in and we'll put this into the back of Dodgey, and hopefully everything fits and looks good, and we should be able to call it a day for today. There she is, fellas, all installed, nice and tight, not going anywhere. Now I left this, I was going to put this thing to the right, but I think we're going to have to relocate our battery box. Originally on this car, the battery box was located over here on the driver's side. Obviously this car making left-hand turns made sense to put all the weight on the inside. But now, since we're going to be launching this car, we kind of have to offset the driver's weight, and we want to put it in this back corner. So what I'm going to do here now on the next episode is we're going to build a box inside here for our battery that's got a lid on it and a vent to the exterior, and we should be good to go. So that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. I'm very happy with what we've got accomplished. Another big step forward, got a fuel cell, so now I'm obviously looking for a fuel pump, looking for something over 125 gallons per hour, something over that probably, and at a reasonable price. So if any of you guys have any for sale, or if you know where I can get one for pretty cheap, definitely get a hold of me at howfast10@gmail.com. If you guys like what you saw here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Pick up a t-shirt, pick up a sticker, or you can pick up a toolbox magnet from our website at howfast.ca. You can also get me on TikTok, you can get me on Instagram, you can get me on Facebook. Keep up with the build, guys. Keep up with the journey, and I'll catch up with you next time. Find out how fast we can make this car go.